Okay. All right, so my name is Janis Grikstas, and my team, we decided to do a game of Jeopardy. All right, so we have a landing page, our index.html file that just guides the user to sign up to play a round of Jeopardy.
And my name is Arshad. So this page, the way it's supposed to work is it is connected to a text document, and you just type in a username and a password, and it'll just put that in that thing. And for this one, sign up. It was successful and logged in. Could you go back onto the previous page? Yeah. And try the same thing. And since the username already exists, it's what's called giving us an error. And that's what the sign up page does. It checks if the username is taken, and it just writes everything to a text file. Could you go to the login HTML page? Or yeah, that would work too. Yep. And this page just does the following. It logs you in, and if the credentials are wrong, it just keeps reloading the page. So it doesn't give away like what users are in the data file or the passwords.
Okay. All right, and so once a user is successfully signed up and logged in, it takes us to our game of Jeopardy. And we have a grid-like layout that is just a, it's an HTML table element that has just different rows with the different amounts. And so each dollar amount is a different, it's a different link that will take us to a different question. And so the user can pick which question or category they want to do. We also have a header that lets us know which player is picking the question, which turn it is. And this logic behind it is a PHP counter that increments after each round. If it's odd, the player one picks. If it's even, player two picks. So we'll see that. If I just hit this one, we're then taken to a form page where we have to answer the question correctly. So I will go ahead and put in the right question or the right answer. And I'll hit submit, and this takes us to its own submit processing form. And behind this, we have PHP logic that will increment each, it will increment the counter to signal a new round, and it will also increase player one's points. So we can see that it's now player two's turn to pick a question, and 100 points was given to player one. And we also have the option to log out, which will clear out our session and our user. And it takes us back to the login page. All right.
Could you show them that it cleared out by logging into it again? Show them the cleared out scores.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we are back at 0. Okay.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and we're talking about the Scrum methodology. What are the benefits? The benefits are daily check-ins and keep every team member aware. We were, sorry guys, I'm not really good in public speaking. Sorry for that. But hello, my name is Jessica. So I'll be talking about the Scrum methodology. The benefits to was that we kept each team member over their efforts and goals of each day. There wasn't any contradicting, overlapping of each member's scope of work. Each task was discussed and calibrated on the main quarter implementing of each team idea. And the drawbacks were that it was difficult for our schedule to coordinate, but we kept each other updated on Discord. Thank you.
So this is just a kind of brief overview of how we set up our main game grid. We just have a table element that has our different categories and then our different levels for points. And inside of each table data element, we have a link that will link it to our next question. In here, we see a lot of our PHP logic that we used to test the user's input against the correct answer. So each question had a file that goes around this template. The only difference would be we would be changing the correct answer and we would be changing the amount that we would be incrementing the player's scores by, depending on what level they picked. We have some other PHP logic up here where we are writing to a text file and we're kind of determining what data goes where and what value the counter is at. So, and then we're also using that counter logic down here to see which player is actually playing and which player gets the points.
Okay, it's back to me, Arshad. So for the sign up, it just does like this slide say, it checks if the username is taken. If it is taken, it's gonna reload the sign up page and gonna give you that pop up. And that's on the bottom left. It shows you how the form looks. It just takes a username and a password and then writes it to a file. On your right, the top part, it checks if you filled in the post username and the password fields. And it checks if the user exists in the file. If it exists, it returns you the user exists. Else it reloads the file. Else it adds you to the data file. And then it says register successfully and gives you a link to the login page. Could you go to the next slide? Yeah, for the login page, it's pretty much a similar thing. It just looks into the data file and see if the thing exists. And if it exists, it logs you and takes you to the play page. And if you're not successful, it just reloads the login page. So it doesn't give back the user exists or the password is incorrect, anything like that. And the last part, the session is created like as you get logged in, and the session is destroyed when a user decides to log out. As of right now, we're working on to implement the leaderboard feature, which would be updated every time you log out. And if a player scores higher than something in the previous leaderboard's text file, it's going to add it to the text file and display it underneath the player 1, player 2 in the PHP file. Thank you.
All right, that's it.